can't remember the first time that I watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but I do know that I have watched this film on and off again for as long as I can remember. I can't really say that I knew what was going on the entire time with his plot and story as a kid, but I knew that I was never bored with it. Otherwise I wouldn't still be watching this for 20 plus years. And as the years go by, my admiration for this film grows bigger and bigger with each time I watch it. Set in the late 1940s Hollywood, Eddie Valiant, played by Oscar nominee Bob Hoskins, is set on a job to take pictures of Jessica Rabbit, the beautiful wife of Maroon cartoon's biggest star, Roger Rabbit. With evidence of corruption and conspiracy that connects some of the most powerful companies in the city, Eddie needs to uncover the truth behind the murder before it can spell the end for not only for the wacky and lovable White Rabbit, but for Toontown forever. The whole plot, story, and characters, basically the whole setup, is very simple. What makes this film stand out is the combination of live action and animation. Of course, this isn't the first time that this has happened, as it was experimented with since the beginning of film. However, usually it's the live action actors that will go into the cartoon world because it's a lot easier to animate without dealing with a lot of complications. For this film, it is understood that the rules for handling animation with live action were thrown out of the window in order to make the animated characters not only look like they are part of the world, but feel like they are. To achieve this, robots and puppets were utilized to create the illusion of an animated character interacting with the world, and then the characters were drawn over the film. And to further add to the realism, shadows and lighting were added to make them more three-dimensional instead of looking flat like in a regular cartoon. And what is achieved is nothing short of a miracle. Even with all of the things that would make it look as though it would frustrate even the most patient of people, like working around camera movement, lighting, or acting, it really feels like everybody was on the same page when they started making this film and understood what kind of movie it was. Otherwise, it probably would not have worked as well as it did. The beginning of the film is such a perfect selling point in starting the movie. Opening with a Tex Avery style cartoon that is great on its own, it cuts to where live action and animation mix to set up the whole film. The seamless transition from full-blown animation to live action is just a great shot as it connects the two worlds together as one without an edit or a cut in between. It's quite obvious that this is a parody of the film noir genre with its themes, plot, settings, and characters, and it's played for laughs, but he still managed to take it serious enough where we do get some legitimate nuances while still playing for those laughs.
Toon killed his brother.
What? Huh?
Dropped the piano on his head.
This actually causes him to have doubts about working with Toons, which he enjoyed doing before, as he felt bitter and fell to drinking. The scene in his office at night is just brilliant as it gives us some backstory while accompanied by a great score to hint at the sadness and nostalgia as the camera pans over newspapers and photographs of happier times. Roger Rabbit, with all of his silliness aside, does show some dimensions to his character as he cries over his wife's supposed infidelity, and it's quite heartbreaking to see him just losing it as we can clearly see that he truly loves her. And the other characters like Jessica Rabbit, Judge Doom, and even Dolores I find myself interested in as they all feel fleshed out enough for me to care about. The animation, for the most part, looks amazing. The characters feel just as real as the live action stars they share the screen with, and the actors themselves, most notably Hoskins, really put themselves into this world to make it even more believable. I just love how they have so much control over so many little details to make these characters not to stand out but to have them fit in. With the camera movements following them around, it does help sell them as living, breathing characters that I would find myself caring for. And for anyone who's a bit of an animation buff, this can be used as an Easter egg hunt where there are so many cameos of so many animated characters peppered all over the film. Every time I watch it, my eyes would sometimes wander to some section in the scene and I would notice something for the first time. It's actually quite fun and I do get a little giddy whenever I spot something. With the film going on 30 years, it still looks as good as it does, and while there are some hiccups with it, it still holds on strong on its own, and I will say that this is one of the most creative animated films of all time, just by the concept alone. It still continues to impress me every time I watch it, and I know that I'll be watching it many more for a very long time.